Hey guys and girls and everything in between, this is your podcasting pal, Psycho Steve, here on Here Today, Gone Tomorrow. Today, we have, as I call him, one of the world's best kept secrets and one of the best musicians, producers, songwriters. There's so many titles. I feel like I'm talking to probably one of his closest friends who he has collaborated with and who was one of our guests on our show. And I want to extend him to the Here Today, Gone Tomorrow family, Mr. Jean Beauvoir. Good day, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. So the couple questions we got to start off with is, you started off as a kid in Chicago, very young age, starting with various bands. What was your first instrument?
I started as actually saxophone. Was my first instrument. Okay, right. Played saxophone. I guess saxophone and drums, probably around the same time. So I started, as far as rock goes, I started as a drummer, and I was like a singing drummer in junior high school rock band. I had a teacher who actually had opened for the Who once with his band, and he was, he saw rock and roll in his soul. So he had approached me once and he said, why don't we do like what is now School of Rock? You know what I mean? And this is a long time ago. So we did this thing, where after school, certain, kids that were interested in rock and roll would stay after, and we'd start to put a band together. So we'd have 2, 3 drummers that would play, guitar players, whoever who wanted to join up. And then we'd play at all the school events and everything like that. And that's where it all kind of started. And at that point, when we first started that, I was drummer and lead singer.
Right on. Awesome. Now, anybody in your family musicians?
My sister actually went from being like the real business person in the family. She graduated early, went to American College in Paris at 15, and
wow.
Got a master's degree and everything, and now she's a jazz singer.
Wow, that's awesome.
Kind of like a jazz singer, and she's doing kind of Haitian roots music, and she kind of reverted, and I don't say reverted, but changed, and went from the whole business world and went into music. My brother also plays bass.
Awesome.
So that's, he was playing bass, and that's when I picked up the bass, because he had a bass laying around the house. I started as a drummer, and the bass was just hanging around, and I just, picked it up and started messing around with it. And then I ended up moving from drums to bass in my band,
awesome.
My young band.
Right on. So do you still own the bass today?
I don't have that same bass. No. It was an old, I remember it was an old, I think it was a jazz bass, actually, a Fender jazz bass that he had. So I practiced with it, used it for a while, and then when the band started doing stuff, I would just bounce around from different instruments. Then I learned guitar at the same time, so then I just, whatever we needed, I'd play. And so, we did the drummer, I played the drums. I did the bass player, I moved to bass playing and singing, and then moved on to guitar, and always fooled around with piano and keyboards as well.
Right. So all your instruments that you know how to play, do you have a favorite?
I've been playing guitar live for years. Right. I actually, started as, the bass player for the Plasmatics, Little Steven, all this other stuff. And then I really wanted to play guitar, and I moved to guitar. And live, I've been playing guitar for years and years. And then, recently, I've kind of had a refound interest in bass. Because whenever I make records, I kind of play all the instruments. And so on my solo records, I played all the instruments on the record. So I get a chance to always kind of keep your chops up, because you always, at one point I'm making an album and I have to play all the instruments. So it keeps my chops up in different instruments. But, I think guitar might be my favorite, and singing is the favorite, but that's not really an instrument. Well, no, it is. Singing is what I enjoy doing the most.
Gotcha. Well, I've known you as being, the bass player, the guitarist, and the vocalist. I have to ask is, most of the people that I have interviewed that sing, do you sing in the shower?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot. Awesome. I actually rehearse in the shower. So, because the funny thing is that when you're taking a hot shower, it opens up your voice. Steam. So there's a lot of times if I'm rehearsing for a show, like for example, a few years ago I did like a Dick Wagner memorial show. I had a lot of lyrics to learn. So I literally I have a shower with, glass. So I would literally paste the lyrics into the outside of the shower. And I'd practice in the shower.
Cool. Right on. So now the question is, and I know this is an off-the-wall question, but you are notorious for having an amazing mohawk. What do you use in your hair?
a lot of hairspray.
Okay.
A lot of hairspray.
Nice. Okay.
I used to use Spritz hairspray, and then I moved on to, what's the name of that hairspray? I don't know the name of it. It's a yellow can. It's pretty, it's like Glued. Glued is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
So I use Glued, and that's what I've been using for years.
Right.
I went through hairnet and Spritz and different ones. Whatever's going to keep it up.
Nice.
That's what I use.
Well, I lost my hair in the divorce, so that's why I was asking you. So.
Oh, God, I hate when that happens.
Yes, and that's why I came up with the name for the show, Hair Today, Gone Tomorrow. So.
Okay. Yeah. That's a shame that you lost hair in the divorce.
It's okay. I got the kids, so you still got the kids, so it's all good in it,
Good. Now, how old are the kids?
9.5 going on 30 and 6.5 going on 20.
All right, so, I hear you.
And they're big fans of yours, so they've listened to your music.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Since their birth till today, they listen to a lot of the music that you've collaborated with all the people that you have. Steven,
really
the Ramones.
To do that.
Absolutely. So
you kept them in the mix. You forced them to listen to that music.
I don't call it forcing. I think it's more like brainwashing. So
that's good. Yeah.
So you've collaborated with such diverse musicians and everything. Do you have a favorite style of music that you've collaborated with, or?
I know I end up sounding like diplomatic when I say this, but I like all different types of music. I like good songs. Right. And it's always been a challenge to me throughout my career to be able to do different things. It's almost like a goal that I set. And by doing that, that's why you noticed, I wrote with Kiss, songs for Kiss, and then the Ramones, and then I do Lionel Richie, and I do Debbie Harry, and then I do punk, and then I've even, written songs for K-pop, you know what I mean?
Right.
And Sync, Lionel Richie, so all different kinds of things. And for me, I think it's like it's self-challenging to be able to prove to myself that you can go from different genre to different genre and still be like relevant in that genre and be successful in that genre. And I think it's kind of one of my musical goals, or always has been, to be able to go through different music. Yeah.
Right on. So when you're not collaborating with anybody or recording any of your own personal stuff, do you still practice or play every day?
Not every day. I have to admit, I don't.
Okay.
Honestly, I wish I did, and I've got friends that do, and I'm almost like jealous. But, with everything else in my life, because with my life, there's always a lot of business involved in everything that I do, whether it be booking tours, whether it be, whatever. I produce TV shows. I started a movie last year. I do all kinds of things. So you find yourself getting involved in all these other things that prevents me from being able to practice every day. But I try to set like a goal. If I know I'm going to go on tour or something, I say, okay, now I'm going to put X amount of time for like a month or 2 months before, even though never, the time gets shorter and shorter, I've noticed. That I actually say that I'm going to really focus and get into my craft and spend some time practicing, but not as much as I'd like to be honest with you.
All right. Now, like you said, you've collaborated with Lionel Richie, which is one of my favorite artists, and everybody thinks I'm this hard rock and metal exterior, but I'm like, I have this soft interior, because I absolutely love Lionel from the Commodores to the present day. Seen him many times. And, I followed him, solo and everything in between that. And then you, of course, collaborated with Kiss. And then you also did several soundtracks to movies, such as Pet Sematary. You did Shocker, which actually we interviewed Desmond Child, which you collaborated, which is a dear friend of yours. And then he did this did the song Shocker with the Dudes of Wrath.
That's right. I wrote that song with him.
And we also had Bruce Kulick, 1 year anniversary show. So,
okay.
So with all these musicians that you've written and collaborated with, would you say that, like, when you're out and about on tour or even out and about, like, just traveling, do you have any musician friends that you can just pick up the phone and say, hey, guess what? I'm in your town. Let's grab a bite to eat. Or if you drink, let's have a drink or something like that?
Yeah, that happens a lot. You know, not too long ago, Mickey D from Motorhead, for example, who's now playing with Scorpions. He's a dear friend. So it turns out that they were playing in Tampa, and that's exactly the call I got.
Right on.
Like, man, John, I'm in Fort Lauderdale right now, and I'm going to go right past your house, and I'm going to be playing in Tampa. You want to come to the show? I'm like, great, okay. So he was going to stop by the house, but then they woke up late, whatever. So anyways, I ended up joining them and went to see it. I know all the Scorpions guys and everything, so we all went up to Tampa, and I went and spent a couple of days and just hung out with them. Also with the singer of Queensryche, who was opening.
Yeah, Todd Latour, right?
Yeah, Todd Latour, who I met in an airport. We've become close friends too. I was just like I played Chicago. I flew back, and I just ran into him in one of those little lounges in the airport. I think it's Detroit, someplace Atlanta or something like that. And we just, he says, I know you from somewhere. I was like, he says, I'm the singer from Queensryche. And so we became friends, and we kind of hung out. And he was also on this tour. So I went and met up with him. And that happens a lot of times. You'll have like Lionel Richie will come to Stockholm, or, because I spent a lot of time in Sweden or wherever he might be. I was in Las Vegas last year. Right. It just so happened I went there actually to go see Kiss. It was like 2 years ago. Then all of a sudden I look on the thing and says, oh, Lionel Richie's playing there. So I call him up and said, hey, let's get together. Boom, 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 get together. So, living in Florida where I live right now, I don't get to see so many people. So it's something that I get to do, when I get out there. When I'm in New York or LA, then it's different. It could be Lita Ford. It could be, because I just know I know a lot of musicians, I've been doing this for so long that, at one point or another, I've met so many of them, so whenever I get the opportunity, I get together with them and hang.
Okay. That's awesome. So speaking of collaborating with everybody, is there anybody that is either alive or has passed that you would say, I wish I had or still can collaborate, like a bucket list person?
I love Rod Stewart.
Okay. I
think he's a great singer. That's somebody that I know him. I mean, I've met him. I actually introduced him to his wife.
Right.
Or not. But we've never really collaborated. Let me see. People like Elton John, the Stones. There were a lot of people. U2. I had a great opportunity once. U2 had asked me to produce a punk band that they were really, really interested in. This is going back quite a while. This is like in the 80s. Okay. And they were fans of my Ramones work because U2 are huge Ramones fans. I don't know if you remember, they did that whole campaign with Apple where they did that Joey Ramone song, and it was a forced download for everybody on Apple. That made people crazy. You know what I mean? And that's a band that I would love to collaborate with. So listen, there are so many great musicians out there that I haven't even, touched some of the things I'd love to do. Like, I collaborated with Mick Jones from Foreigner. He was great, but I'd love to do more with him. It was just one of those things where I was recording in New York at a place called Media Sound, and actually him and Mick Jagger walked into the studio. Wow. And they just walked in and, said, hey, man, we just want to hang out a little bit. So Mick was just hanging around, dancing around the control room a little bit. And I told Mick, hey, listen, do you want to play guitar on a song? And he said, yeah, why not? I gave him a guitar. He ended up playing on one of the songs on my solo record. Wow. It's like, so it's, there are a lot of great musicians out there that I, would love to still get a chance to do something with.
Gotcha. Now, like you said, you've gotten a chance to play with produce-wise. Now, how do you get the call, or like when someone wants you to collaborate with? Is it their management? Is it the label? Or is it them personally call you or, you know, say, hey, John, are you busy? I want you to produce our next upcoming single, album, write with us. You know, how does that happen?
It can happen a lot of different ways. You know, I've got, it really depends on the situation. Lionel Richie was one of those things where I had met him. We had spoken a bunch of times. I met him originally in Stockholm. I was in Stockholm playing, and I'm not playing. He was playing in Stockholm. I was living in Stockholm recording at ABBA's studio. Cool. And he came to the show and blah, blah, blah. And I was in the audience, and all of a sudden his like right-hand guy comes out to the audience and grabs me and says, hey, Lionel wants to take some pictures with you. He heard you were here. I said, oh, okay, that's great. So I went back, and great compliment. He came back to me and he said, me and Michael Jackson, you know, we're real fans, and we love what you do, and thank you so much for, you know, sticking to everything that you've done. I know it's not easy as a black rock artist to be carrying that flag, and, you know, and we really respect it, and thank you very much. Here's my number. Let's keep in touch. And then one night I was living in LA, in Malibu at the time, and I had a studio up there, and it was late. I think it was like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I just had something that I thought would be great for Lionel. And I just, out of nowhere, I got bold, and I called him. And he said, great, I'll be over there in a half hour. And he just packed up, and he just got in his car, and he came over. And we ended up writing, and so we ended up writing a song for one of my solo records. And, you know, so sometimes it's casual like that. It could be just an artist that just says, man, we got to do something together, and nothing happens. Or something like that, and then one day we're just in the same place, and it happens. Or I get official calls, you know, whether it be K-pop or something like that, where a publishing company or something will set up writing sessions, and they'll say, you know, we'd love you to write something with him. Or for the Ramones, it was through my manager. With Kiss, it was through Paul directly. You know, we had become pretty close friends before we ever wrote anything together. I was working with Little Steven. We were hanging out in New York. We met at a dance club, of all places.
Which club was that? Studio 54?
No, it was a club called Heartbreak. That was in New York City at the time. It was like an old, it looked like a diner, but it used to be a diner where a lot of rock stars and actors and all kinds of people used to hang out. And one day he just came over to me, we started talking. He said, you're the guy from the Plasmatics. I said, no, Paul Stanley. And he said, great. So we exchanged numbers. You know, we hung out and, you know, whatever it might be, we just went out to clubs, movies, and became friends. And then one day I was just at his apartment, pulled out a guitar. He says, you know, let's try to write something for the next record.
Cool. And then you were on Asylum with them. You wrote All Night, I believe.
All Night, that's right.
Right.
Who Wants to Be Lonely.
And I was just about to say that they had like 4 videos for that album, and I think you did 3 out of the 4 videos writing.
Yeah, it was
credit.
2, right?
Right?
Who Wants to Be Lonely, All Night.
Right.
And I also wrote Thrills in the Night on
Crazy Night.
On Animalize.
Animalize, right. So you were like the unsigned 5th member of Kiss, because I believe you also
that's right.
And
I played bass on a lot of things.
Right.
That's right.
Gene was too busy doing his movies. So
that's right. And you know, at the time, it wasn't like the thing to. I played those bass parts just, you know, off the cuff. They wasn't meant to be credited or anything like that.
Right.
And all of a sudden, years later, I started seeing in books and Wikipedia and stuff, oh, yeah, Jean played bass on those records. So then it became kind of, you know, cool and hip to let people know who did what on what records. But before that, it was kind of like, you know, a quiet thing. You would just do it, you know, and you never thought anybody would ever hear about it.
Cool. All right. Now that you live in Florida, because you said you lived in Stockholm, you lived in Chicago, you lived in LA, Florida.
I lived in West. I lived in Berlin, lived in London.
Wow. So the question is, I'm a bit of a car enthusiast because I used to work in the car business. And even before that, like my bar mitzvah theme was cars. I need to know, what kind of car do you drive?
Okay. I've got a Range Rover Supercharged Sport.
Right.
I've got also a Land Rover Discovery, an older classic Land Rover Discovery, you know, the square ones.
Yeah, that looks like a Lego.
That's right. Those 4x4 ones.
Yeah.
And And I've got a car, which was the first car I bought when I had my first hit. And I don't drive it much. It's just sitting in the garage. And it's a Lotus Turbo Esprit.
Awesome. Like the one that, what's his name, Richard Gere drove in Pretty Woman?
Actually, before that one, because the one with Pretty Woman was taken over by GM. But before that, the handmade ones were the ones that were in the James Bond film. I think it was For Your Eyes Only or Octopussy, or the car that went underwater.
Yeah, cool. What color?
It's black. It's black with red interior.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I still have it. It's my memory of my first success, of my first, solo success.
Right on. Okay. So what's in your CD player currently? Yeah.
Honestly, right now, my CD player is my stuff because I'm getting ready to go out and do some shows.
Right.
So I've actually been listening to it, singing to it, and getting into the vibe. But I listen to all different kinds of things. I have I've got a really wide and eclectic taste in music. I mean, I can, if I'm home and I just turn on Sirius, a lot of times I'll turn on the 70s channel.
Okay.
And I just listen to a lot of 70s stuff, and Motown and different things like that. And I sing along to it. You know what I mean? It kind of brings me to a certain place. And there's times I listen to really believe it or not, really chill, classical type of music, when I want to feel a certain way. Sometimes I'll listen to, Mexican guitar music. If I'm relaxing, just because it just makes you feel a certain way. And music, I think from a consumer's point of view, it sets your mood. So It really depends on what mood I feel like at that time, what I'll listen to. But it's really wide.
Nice. With all the people that you've played with, have you ever been starstruck?
I'm not somebody who really gets starstruck. I've never been. It's just the way I am. But at the same time, I would say, I don't know if starstruck's the right word, but really respectful maybe is the right word. Wow, this person has really, accomplished so many things. And I really respect that. So the Kiss guys, because Kiss, I grew up with Kiss, so I think from the very beginning, when I was a little kid, even just thinking about the fact of playing music and, being like a little black kid on Long Island thinking I'm going to be a rock star. People were like, yeah, right. And I'm Shanna. At that time, I used to have Kiss posters on my wall. And I can remember my grandmother walking in and saying, take those posters off your wall. He's a devil. It's the devil. I can't go in your room. And so when I finally met Kiss, I just think that they're just so over the top and just so, just so over the top. They really represent rock and roll to me. That was something that was really impressive to me.
And then you got to do support for them, too.
Yeah, but I wasn't in Plasmatics when they did the support.
Oh, okay.
But nevertheless, I still got to spend a lot of time with them. I did.
Gotcha.
Paul and I, when we were living in the same places, we would spend every day. I mean, literally. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. I mean, everything.
That's awesome.
Really separable kind of, and Gene too. So I spent, and then both of them got involved in the Crown of Thorns project originally. So I literally spent 2 years with them working on that record in LA in studios every day. So I got to spend a lot of time with them. And, I've been fortunate. I've gotten to meet really a lot of I've met a lot of people. Elton John, Rob Halford, Lemmy, Ozzy, pretty much, Paul McCartney, Mick Jagger, everybody. I've met a lot of people.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty fortunate that way.
Nice. Now, you mentioned that you are going to be doing some touring. Is there anyone in the band that we would know?
Yes. Well, Jack Frost is playing with me.
Nice.
Okay.
Jersey native.
I don't know if you know him.
I do.
Native, that's right. He's playing guitar with me. Tommy Lafferty's playing with me as well. And Tommy played, he's been with me from the beginning. He was involved in my solo records when I first got signed as a solo artist to Richard Branson, actually. Right. He was, working, and I called him one day and said, guess what? I got a deal. Quit your job and let's go.
Wow.
So he's been with me from the very beginning, and he's been in Beauvoir with me. Then I put him in Crown of Thorns, and then now he's touring with me on the Jean Beauvoir dates, and Christian Tristram is playing bass with us right now, and he's from Great White.
I was going to say, doesn't he play with Jack Russell's Great White?
That's right, Jack Russell's Great White, House of Lords, different things. Right. So this is new. He just joined the band. So
awesome.
We go to rehearse starting next week, and I've never even met him.
Really?
Done over the phone. Yep. It's all been done over the phone and, through email and stuff. So he's learning the stuff right now. So he's going to be with me. Hawk Lopez is in the band. He's the drummer. He's been with me since the beginning of Crown of Thorns. After Tony Thompson passed, he joined the band. And he's been touring with Crown of Thorns since then, which is early 90s, right? And then he's also doing these shows with me as well. So, so that's the band.
So are you going to be doing like what Desmond Child does? You're going to just do like your basically, not your, I would say, hits, but also what you've been known for from writing credit-wise with all the span of years of doing this?
Yeah, that's kind of what the show is now. So, first I was in a situation where sometimes I'd go out as Crown Thorns, sometimes I'd go out as Voodoo X, sometimes I'd go out as solo. It just got too complicated. So I just released 2 new records. One is called Jean Beauvoir Rock Masterpieces Volume 1, came out in July, and Volume 2 comes out in November. And basically it's a combination of things that I did with all my different bands. And that was kind of to for people who don't know, some people say, oh, you were the guy in Voodoo X? Oh, I didn't know you were in the Plasmatics. Oh, you're the guy who did Feel the Heat? Oh, I didn't know that, So I decided to release 2 records that would clean that up when people would know, oh, okay, so that's what he does. Nice. So, those records are coming out, and the show consists of things like that, a little bit from all my projects, but at the same time, I've added songs I've written, like Shocker. I'm playing some Kiss songs that I wrote, all night, and things like that. And I've actually even added some Ramones songs that I wrote, like My Brain is Hanging Upside Down from the film School of Rock. You know what I mean? And so that's in the set, and even a Plasmatic tune, so I'm kind of a little bit of a walk down memory lane type of thing.
That's fantastic. So, all right. Is there any advice you can give any up-and-coming artists?
Pick another career. No, I'm only kidding. No, it's, listen, fulfill your dream. Go for it. It's hard work. It's not an easy business. There's no doubt about that. But you just have to be persistent. And if you really want something, I'm kind of one of those guys that believes that if you really want to accomplish something or you want something, you can make it happen. It's within you for it to happen. So you just have to put all your energies into it, and don't, you have to have tough skin. You know what I mean? Don't let rejection get you down, because that's something in our business, that, I don't know if you saw the Queen movie the other day.
Not yet.
Funny. I saw the Queen movie the other day, and it was pretty funny how when Bohemian Rhapsody came out, they get dropped by their label, and you see all the credits, all the comments, and all the criticism about the worst song they ever heard. Press said it's terrible. It's a rehash of this. It's that. It's this. It's that. And it turns out to be one of the most classic rock songs in the history of our genre. So it's like, you have to be prepared, and you have to believe in yourself. I think, believe in yourself, stay independent, in your thinking, and believe in yourself, and, just be rebellious about it, and be strong-willed, and just go forward.
Awesome.
And that's it. And convince people that you are what you believe you are.
Right on. So these 2 new albums that you're releasing, are they self-released or are you on an actual label?
It's a label in Germany called AOR Heaven, which specializes in these kind of records.
Okay.
And so they released it right now. And I'm also releasing it through my label digitally. So we're going to, and then we'll see. Well, I might do a vinyl deal separately or figure out what I'm going to do. But that's how it's released right now, through AOR Heaven, which is Soul Food Records in Germany. And they have it for Europe and the rest of the world. And it's not released in America officially, so it's only here as an import, as far as physical records.
Gotcha.
But through my label, it's released, digitally everywhere.
Cool. So when does the new tour start?
Well, right now, it's actually just a couple of days. I'm headlining a festival in Germany called the Heat Festival. Okay. That's going to be in Ludwigsburg, Germany on December 1st. A warm-up show in New Jersey.
Really?
And a place called Debonair.
Oh, okay. I know it very well. With Diane Lane.
Yeah, exactly. Diane Lane. Okay. I'm doing it through Diane. And so we're going to do that. So we're going to rehearse for a few days, and we're going to do Debonair's as a warm-up show, and then go over there to Germany. And it's kind of like a setup for next year. And if everything goes as planned, I'll start booking festivals for next year.
Sweet. All right.
That's it. And all right, go. More rock and roll.
That's what we want to hear. So how can people find you as far as in social media?
Well, Facebook is one way. Under my name, I've got 2 pages, a fan page and like a personal page, and also Crown of Thorns page, and then my website, johnbeauvoir.com. And that usually, has all the information, has everything, lets you know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, what the upcoming plans are, etc.
Okay. And then did you ever think about coming out with a book?
Yes. I'm working on one. So I'm working on 2 books right now. I've got one book that would be related to the Plasmatics, my life as a plasmatic.
Okay.
So I'm working on that. And then the other book will take a little bit longer, but it's kind of like a life story book. It goes right from the beginning, how it all started and all the different projects and different bands and the ups, the downs, the people you've met along the way and everything else, So those are the books I've planned.
Right on. Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving Jay and me and everybody else that's going to be listening to this the opportunity. It's been a long life dream to actually speak to you and count me in. As long as the schedule permitting, I would definitely love to come in and say hello. I don't know. That would be great. Anytime. Do a shot of Jaeger or yes.
Now we're talking. Exactly. My favorite.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll come to the Jersey show. Do you have a date on that?
The Jersey show is the 28th
of November.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Down now. So, yeah.
So you think you might be coming to that? That'd be
because Jay and I live in Jersey, so I'm going to definitely
you do? Sure. Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
Don't hold it against us. So, yeah.
No, I don't. I don't. But everybody comes from Jersey.
Absolutely. Surprised you never lived here. No, I'm kidding.
I actually did.
Really? Where?
But yeah. Where did I live? Oh, God. Well, I had my bad years in Jersey where I lived on Route 3 in a motel. That was the beginning of Plasmatics before I was making any money whatsoever. And so that was a very tough time. Right. And then where else did I live? I think it was East Rutherford, actually.
Oh, okay.
I had an apartment there. And unfortunately, I came home one day and it burnt down. So all my stuff was gone. Then I moved into the city, and then I ended up joining the Plasmatics after that. So I guess there was a reason for it. True. Somebody was trying to get me out of there.
Awesome. Well, Jean, once again, thank you very much for the opportunity.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
No problem. Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.